thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
If you enjoy the Massenomics podcast, another awesome way to help support it is by supporting our sponsors. They help make every one of these episodes possible. Like SwissLink. In 1995, Maurice Big Mo Huffman founded SwissLink with the mission to bring authentic Swiss Army goods to the United States and into the hands of those yearning for quality gear at uncompromised prices. Over the years, that mission expanded to nations across Europe and beyond. Now, for nearly 3 decades, Big Mo has been traveling far and wide in search of the best items for military forces around the world. Big Mo doesn't only find authentic military clothing for SwissLink, he brings in everything you can imagine, from Swiss bayonets to Czech microscopes. SwissLink.com is also home of the SwissLink Classic Wool Blankets. Ooh. They're an ideal mix of 80% wool and 20% recycled fibers. It's that special blend that provides a soft, luxurious feel while maintaining all the benefits of wool. And as we know, it's getting close to winter time here in western northeast South Dakota, so we need something to get cozy with. Wish you could wear them year-round? Well, maybe now you can. New to the lineup is SwissLink's classic wool pants. That's right, wool pants. SwissLink's exceptional collection and dedication to quality customer service distinguishes them from the competition. Here's the best part. Enjoy a 15% discount on your next purchase at SwissLink.com by entering the code MASS at checkout. That's Swiss like Switzerland, link, LINK.com. Thank you, SwissLink. This episode is also brought to you by our friends over at Juggernaut AI. It is the smartest programming for you. Juggernaut AI is like having the best powerlifting coach right there in the palm of your hand, right in your pocket, during every training session, helping you reach your true potential. Juggernaut AI is the training that both Tommy and I use for many months now, probably be able to start saying we've used it for years now. We've been able to see progress on that. We have many gym members, Massenomics gym members using it. We have many supporting members of the podcast, the Massenomics podcast, that use Juggernaut AI. We've heard a lot of good feedback, a lot of different parts of that training that people like. Some of what I like, you do have all that training history right in the palm of your hand, but for me, it's probably the phasic training structure that it provides, where you're going from bridge blocks through hypertrophy, through strength blocks, and then leading you up through peaking, whether you want to do a powerlifting meet or maybe you just want to test your 1-rep maxes, you get to that peaking phase. And the best part of Juggernaut AI, discount code Massenomics, it'll save you 10% for the lifetime of that membership. So when you're at the web browser, go to juggernautai.app on your browser, use discount code Massenomics, save you 10%. Thank you, Juggernaut AI.
This episode is also brought to you by Barefoot Shoes. Most shoes harm your mobility by over-restricting your foot's natural movement. Barefoot shoes are designed with minimal restrictions so your feet can move the way they're supposed to. Move with more strength and confidence in every step. Barefoot Shoes was founded by Chris Duffin, who attributes proper foot biomechanics as foundational to his success in squatting and deadlifting over 1,000 pounds for reps. He helped create the company to provide a minimalist shoe that can be worn for anything from deadlifts to walking your dog. Go to www.barefoot.store to check out the best minimalist shoes available. And while you're there, use code Massenomics to save 10% on your next order. And what's that? You don't know what your next order should be? Get a pair of Ursus low top black canvas gum sole. You will not regret it. Great shoe.
Welcome back, everyone, for episode 444 of the Massenomics podcast, listened all over the globe by millions of people. Normally recorded in western northeast South Dakota, but we're in a special place today, Tommy. We are in North Carolina with none other than the one and only Jujimufu, John Call. We've been with John all day doing all kinds of crazy stuff, getting out of our comfort zone. Thank you for having us here. This is awesome.
Thanks for coming. It's been a blast. You guys are, it's been fun, man.
We've been put through the paces. I'm covered in chalk. We're covered in sweat. It's been a day.
Look at the chalk just.
Yeah, when you did that,
do
it
that
just
again.
poofs off of you. Yeah.
That's cool.
You know we were doing things today, judging by that. So we say we're from Western Northeast South Dakota.
Yeah, I'm from South Mid-Eastern North Carolina.
Is that fairly? I mean, were you
Probably.
Yeah, you think that?
It's probably about right.
Checks out to me. I don't
Close
actually.
enough.
Yeah, close enough. I like it. You do have the North in the name of the state, like we do, so you get it.
Yes.
Yeah. This is our first time ever in any of the Carolinas, so this is our first Carolina experience. We actually came just in time for the hurricane, thankfully.
Yeah, it was kind of a letdown. Helena's not really pushing her weight around. Power went out for a little bit.
Yeah,
delayed filming 2 hours today.
What a day it's been. I forgot about that already.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always like to talk a little food and drink and stuff on the Massenomics podcast, and like no exception, you've kind of wined and dined us here. We've eaten at least a few meals with you already today in Jim Home. That's where we're recording from. You've got a kitchen back here. We got to eat. You're helping us out with your beef and rice. We've kind of got to live a little bit of the Jujimufu experience today. It was like a carnival ride that kids would pay for, I think.
Yeah, you got to do some weird stretches. You got to you got to drink some weird stuff. I got some things I like that I stick around here all the time.
It's just great because the core foods, I mean, it's just the best food. It's just always available, always ready. All the beverages exist, all the caffeine options. It's a lifter's paradise in here.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm going to crack into this. I know you both have had one already today. It's the LMNT.
I've had 3 of them.
Yeah. Oh, so I mean, is this a daily driver for you?
At this point, yeah, because I did one YouTube integration with Element about a year ago, and then now I just buy the stuff myself because I like it so much. So I buy that. It's salt. It's like a gram of salt and not very much sweet. It's just great. I love it. I drink it all the time.
No caffeine in there, and we've got another special one that we'll get to probably a little bit here together. But that's not bad.
Yeah, check out my gold drink spotter. Sorry, I'm just so happy about this. When they presented this to me, I was like, you guys, I mean, it's got real gold on it.
Actual, real gold plating, yes.
Now I know what you're doing with all that money you're making from the lift shorts that are overpriced.
That's 4 years of profits into that single item right there, so treat it gently.
It's pretty heavy. Like, the density of gold, I got to look it up. Like, this is pretty dense, dude.
Yeah, that's one of only a very few, so you're in rare air with that one, too. It's extra safe. There's extra safety built in with the gold.
Okay.
We've got a lot of topics for you. We tried to come prepared, but first I want to start off with little game that we play. So we're from South Dakota. Mount Rushmore is in South Dakota. We actually talked about Mount Rushmore earlier today. We've kind of covered it all. So even Mount Rushmore. But we like to play a Mount Rushmore game with everyone where we want to get their Mount Rushmore of something. So it's kind of like their 4 favorite, their 4 best. You can put your own spin on how you determine it. And we've done some training with you. We did a lot of stretching. We did handstand stuff. We did grip stuff. You've done powerlifting. You have a lot of strongman equipment. You do bodybuilding. You've competed in bodybuilding. So at this, we actually discussed some bodybuilders today. So we want your Mount Rushmore of bodybuilders.
Oh, Mount Rushmore of bodybuilders.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore of bodybuilders.
Okay, well, I'm going to kind of do this in a way where it's like I think more people agree with it. You got to start with Arnold.
Classic.
I'm going to have to go with Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
I think he's the greatest bodybuilder that's ever lived.
Yeah.
I love the guy. He's awesome, too. I love who he is. I love everything about him. So you got those 2 guys. God, now I got to pick 2 other dudes. There's a lot of cool dudes for bodybuilding. Let me think for a second. Now, I could pick another Olympia winner, but I don't want to do that. That's silly. I'm going to put Tom Platz up there.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to put Tom Platz. He may not have been like the super champion winning everything all the time, but he's the quad father.
Yes.
Come on. Who doesn't know about Tom Platz? He made a name for himself outside of winning any title. What a badass. Okay, so I got those 2 guys. I got to pick one more dude. God, it's going to be hard. Can I just do 3 people?
You have your druthers, we like to say. So you kind of are the boss of Mount Rushmore games, so we can't really
And we're on
argue
your turf here, so you do get the final say.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking here.
I think you got 3 really solid choices there so far.
Sam, what you doing? I'm going to put Marcus Rule on there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why.
More interesting.
Because he's funny.
Choice. Yeah.
And he made the tuna shake. He made the tuna shake, which is 1 can of tuna, 2 ice cubes, and a cup of water. So,
have you ever tried it?
Yes. And it's bad.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I made it when I was 18 years old for the first time. I blended it up and drank it, yeah. But I'm going to only pick open bodybuilders.
Okay,
That's kind of what I have, like, that's my, like, I just like the biggest dudes.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Another thing we like to talk about with bodybuilding is it seems like every great bodybuilder has a nickname. Like you haven't made it until you have a nickname, and there's some really good nicknames in bodybuilding. Do you have any personal favorite nicknames of bodybuilders or ones that stand out to you?
I mean, how many flexes are there?
That's true. There's
a lot of flexes. Flex Wheeler, Flex Lewis. How many other flexes competed that people don't know about? But a good nickname for a bodybuilder, I don't know.
We were always fans of is it Dexter the
Blade?
The Blade.
Jackson.
The Blade.
The Blade was good.
And The Gift.
The Gift is classic. That's how about the Shadow? Who was the
Dorian Yates.
Dorian Yates.
Yeah, the
yes, the
Shadow.
Shadow. That
Oh,
one
there
has
we
like
go.
The,
I'm gonna
the superhero
Can I
villain
put Dorian
vibe.
Yates on there too?
Yeah.
Because Marcus Rule, I love the guy. But in terms of like influence, I think Dorian's influence is greater than people. Like you could just go on YouTube and look to see what shorts are trending. It always has to do with high intensity training with Dorian Yates. You know what I mean?
And I wasn't even aware of some of his training videos until there's a recent
Blood
Dr.
and
Mike
Guts?
video. Yes, and you go back and watch that. And my favorite clip in the whole thing is, first of all, Dorian's training partner that just yells at him the whole time. And I think it's when they're starting flies. He's like, Dorian, now we fly. And it's like, how can you not just be ready to go after that?
Yeah.
That's
good
great.
stuff.
Yeah. I got to say, being in this gym, such a fun experience. And this is kind of what you've built around, this has become your life. Does it ever feel surreal to you at any point that you're like, this is just what I do all the time. This is my life now, doing this, what we were doing today. That's what you do.
When I travel and come back in town, like if I'm gone for a week and you guys are traveling, when you go home, like when you walk into your house for the first time, you're going to notice like, gosh, there's a lot of plants here.
Right.
There's a lot of potted plants here, and you take it for granted every day. You're just surrounded by plants, 500 potted plants, So when I come back from traveling for a while, I walk in this room, and I'm like, God, this place is weird. Like that's the first word that pops in my mind is this place is weird when you walk into the door. It's just a strange room. It's not a normal room. But taking it for granted, like this, a lot of times I'm doing things, and it's just like, I'm getting paid for this.
Right. Yeah.
I'm literally getting paid to like take a typing test today. To do we did a video where we took a typing test before and after grip training just to see how much worse it would get. And no, I mean it's like that is content, and that kind of feeds into the whole ecosystem of the businesses that I run, and the same as you guys. So you guys also got paid to do a typing test. There you go.
That's exactly.
And you just remind yourself of that. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool.
It is. It is like the whole thing. I mean, this experience is so outside of the norm, especially when you're talking gyms with, we just throw chalk anywhere. We do typing tests. Whiteboards are coming out. Mirrors are rolling around. It's been a great experience.
When
so
you
far.
put it that way, we
yeah.
had to move the green screen out of the way to film the
There's
last
green
video.
screens. Yes, there's a lot going on.
How many years has this been now that this has been your main thing, like your main and primary thing? How long has it been now?
Okay, so this gym or what I do for
what you really do, yeah.
Okay, so I started my business, started making money in fitness around 2015.
Okay.
And then I started my company in 2016, around the middle of 2016. And then I had my day job with my business until the end of 2016. So 7, 8, 9, 7, 8 years now that it's been like my full-time and only job, but I had a job as well while I was building this business.
Yeah, and I think Tommy and I both love the the story, how that actually went for you and your philosophy, because what is your background? You went to school and you were doing something else. What were you doing prior?
Yeah, so after I finished high school, I just knew all I wanted to do was train.
Yeah.
It's like I just like working out. And so I remember going to the college counselor because my parents paid for my college when I was young. It was called PACT, Pre-Alabama College Tuition. It was a program where my dad could invest in his children's college, and then he wouldn't have to pay as much as if he waited. So it's kind of like, okay, so my college is paid for. After high school, it wasn't a decision whether I was going to college or not. I just looked at it as like going from middle school to high school. You didn't question it. You just did it. It's like, okay. So when my college is paid for a 4-year degree, I'm like, okay, I just go to college just like it's the next step after high school. And I was like, I don't want to do anything but train. So I was like, I told the counselor, what do I do? It's like, well, just start with biology. You can decide later, because like exercise and stuff is related to biology. And so it could have been like exercise science or something. But as I got closer and closer to like finishing all the stuff to graduation, I just ended up taking all hard biology courses and chemistry courses. And then I just ended up with a biochemistry degree. And so when I graduated in 2009, I had that degree, and my resume, I put it some places and waited, and got a job in biotech. And that's what I had for like 7 or 8 years. And that was my only job after college.
And then you were able to eventually make the transition then. But what's the talk about that? It's kind of what we live right now and what we talked about, how you weren't rash, or you're very calculated in your decisions, I would say is a way to put it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you didn't make that step until it was definitively the right answer. You had a lot of certainty that it was the right answer at that point.
Yeah, because I like my day job.
Right.
It was easy. I like easy jobs. I've had hard jobs, and I just it's getting in the way of training. Like, it's hard to do flips and I had some jobs where it's like I can weight train around this. It wasn't really hard to weight train around some jobs with like the acrobatic stuff I did. That shit's really finicky. So it's like I had a couple jobs where like, this is making my feet hurt. I cannot work this. It sounds like weak, like, oh, he quit his job because he couldn't work it. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but I kind of knew what I wanted to do. So I was just always looking for like an easy job, even if it didn't pay much. And my biotech job for 7 years, I never got a single raise. The pay was not very good, but I liked it because it just got the hell out of my way. I could go and train for 2 hours on my lunch break. I could eat cream of rice twice a day at work, and I just I was able to train with this job. That's why I liked it. The coworkers are great, and the job wasn't terribly stressful. So it was just, that's why I kept that job. And quitting that job later was not like, oh, I can't wait to quit my day job. I looked at this like, I'm throwing money away if I quit this job. This is too easy. I like this. This is nice. Yeah. But then I sat there one day and I was just kind of overwhelmed because I was doing so much for my fitness business, like traveling to a lot of fit expos, fulfilling orders, making content on YouTube and Instagram. And I still had a day job. And it's just like, and even with the amount of free time I had at my work, it was still like, God, this is still a lot to do. So I sat there and I just, for one day, did this long 7-page calculation to see how much money are you going to pay here? How much money does my day job cost? I factored in everything, cost of tires over the course of a year, how many miles per day, how much time, how many minutes to transition from this part of the day, everything, detailed to the minute. And I realized my day job was paying me about 35% less than what the actual net pay was after taxes. Right. So it's like you have your net pay, after taxes, this is what you get to keep. Well, that was subjected to how much effort and time and attention and good energy am I putting towards this that I could be putting towards the fitness business, which is skyrocketing on the side over here. And then I realized it was paying me way less than I thought. I was like, oh shit, this is costing me money at this point. So at that point, I talked to my dad. So my dad's really kind of conservative, more play it safe. He's more risk adverse, he's more, and I went to him and I told him, he said, what the fuck are you doing? Quit your job.
Yeah. To him, it was even a no-brainer at that point.
Yeah, when he told me that, I was like, that was all I needed was just my dad to be like, oh, dude, come on, this makes sense. Quit your job. I was like, he didn't really understand the mechanics of how I was making money in fitness and stuff.
Right.
Like the social media thing. He didn't get it. All he saw was what the hell are you doing? Just quit. He just saw the numbers I came up with on my calculation, and then I quit, and that was it,
Yeah, and so at this point, when you made the jump, it wasn't like, oh, I sold 5 T-shirts this week. You had garnered a large following, and you were running an actual profitable business.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. So just to give you a quick idea of how risk averse I was when I think it was around August or September of 2016, I released my book, Legendary Flexibility. I'd spent a couple years writing it. It's a really good book.
And was this your first ebook?
It's my first book. It was the first product ever sold on Instagram. So I had 500,000 followers at that time.
And so you had some viral videos. And
Yeah, I had done some stuff for a while, and I was really trying to grow it for fun because I wasn't marketing anything. I didn't have any products. I didn't have a store, but then I made that. And this was the first thing I ever sold in my account. And I made more money in a week selling that book than an entire year's worth of salary in my day job. and that was just the first week.
And that's what's hilarious is 90% of people would be like, I'm out. See you later. And you're still thinking about it.
It took me another 5 months before I quit my job. And then about a month later, I started selling the pants. And then that started selling a lot too. And I'm looking at my bank account. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but how long is this going to last?
Right. Yeah.
So it's is this just a quick spike? And it's after that, it's I'm comfortable in my day job, already in my routine of running this business with this. It is a lot of work, but, and then it just kept going. And I'm just okay, like, and then it did reach the point where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I got to quit.
Something's got to give here.
Yeah, but even with that amount of money coming in, it was just like, it was never like a free dive off the like, oh my God, like jump into the wind, like with no evidence that this is going to work.
Will take me. Yeah.
No, it was the opposite. It was like I had so much overwhelming evidence that this should work, but I was still like kind of like
hanging on until the last
hanging on.
second.
This is I don't want to just throw away a perfectly good job.
Yeah, I think from the outside looking in, some people maybe that they say they just kind of follow you on Instagram, and they've maybe seen your crazy physique, or they've seen you lift some impressive weights before. They've seen you do some flips and some tricking and stuff like that. But being here in person and today and like going through this, it really emphasized it to me, the point of how much you actually do have going on. And to talk about some of that, we're looking at, your smelling salts that you make and sell. Grip Genie, a whole, company around grip products that you sell. The PP, which we love, and we got to do some stuff with that on a grip challenge.
Hold on to our PPs today.
We were double fisting, actually.
Double fisting PPs, yeah.
Yeah. Just another day at the office.
Oh, sure, yeah. We were getting paid to hold on to PPs.
Your content production, your collaborations that you're doing with everyone, your writing of the books. What I'm kind of wondering, do you ever schedule days off? Like, are you ever not working?
No.
Like, when was the last day that you haven't worked? I mean, I know that work is your life and it's all commingled, but like, when was the last day that it feels like you didn't work? Like, what about Christmas? Did you work on Christmas?
Yeah.
Like, what
No,
about?
I work every day.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever taken a day off.
That's what. Like, have you ever?
No. But the thing is, I like what I do. It's like it's
Right.
hard not to. It's like
Right.
I'm gonna open my inbox and that's an easy email. I'll take care of that one. Or
Yeah.
I just had this idea and I'm going to write it down, and then it leads to me actually working on something or training. Like, it's harder for me not to train than it is to will myself to train. Like,
Right.
It's like I'm an animal in a cage, man. Like,
Yeah.
I got to move, and that's work. So the actual definition of what work is like, for me to take a day off would be like, I don't know what I would be doing. You see what I'm saying? Like, even nothing is something, because even doing nothing is like, in a roundabout way, that's helping me recover for work.
Right.
So the whole definition of like, when you're not working, it's like, well, if it leads to better work downstream,
Right.
then technically I think you can classify it as work.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but it doesn't I wouldn't say it feels like work, because you could take two people, like, and if I'm doing it and it looks like play and it is play, but it's still productive, then why isn't it work? But it's
Right.
working. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely. How about this? Have you ever gone on a vacation and not used it for
Like, you're just sitting on the beach doing nothing.
Yeah, can you do that?
So, yes.
Okay.
What we'll do is, when we do collabs or travel for collabs, which is
Right.
a major reason we travel, is
Right.
to go work with other people like yourselves. I need to make it up there and see Mount Rushmore. And
You might
hang
need
out
to
with
come
you
in
guys.
January. And we
Well, fuck you. No
I-
way.
no,
I don't want to come
I-
to South Dakota in January.
No, I just imagine the video. There could be some fun outdoor Speedo singlet lifting in the snow. There's great snow, and it's great for videos too.
You say that now, but when it's negative 30 outside, I
He's
might
really
be.
painting a rosy picture of how this works.
I mean,
I
you
don't know
can
if I
barely
Yeah,
can
you're really trying to
survive.
sell it, but I
Yeah,
don't trust you.
Yeah.
It would be fun, though.
Yeah.
I completely can picture it now.
But see,
so.
here's the thing. Like, I can come up there and do work with you guys and do
Right.
some content.
But
and
then we're gonna have fun, too.
But then we're going to have fun in the snow.
Right,
So,
right,
yeah,
right.
when I go and travel, like, we'll find something. We'll walk or go for a walk or go to a beach or something if there's a beach nearby. Or we like to go to weird grocery stores when we travel to find this is a new grocery store. Oh, what kind of sauces do they have? It's
right,
Like
right.
small little things that me and Sam like to do together,
Right.
Yeah. We definitely have we try to make a good time out of it, for sure. And we do.
Yeah.
Okay. So, somewhat along those same lines, like, you are very much a person where it feels like, as an outsider looking in, every hobby or interest you have somehow does turn into content or part of your life and part of your channel. So, like, we can look and be like, I'm pretty sure I have an idea of what this guy's hobbies and interests are. Do you have like any hidden hobbies or hidden interests that people don't necessarily see on your YouTube channel?
That's a great question, because I have a feeling like, when I see other content creators trying to like create separate accounts for this other hobby they have in mind,
Right.
like, let's say you got a guy in fitness, and this is probably a common example, but everyone's going to probably think of like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 dudes that have done this. They're like a bodybuilder or like a strength athlete, and then all of a sudden they take an interest in tactical firearms. And now they want to do a tactical firearm page because every time they try to shoot firearms on their main page,
It bombs their one
it
channel.
bombs their one channel. So they create a sub-channel. It's like, I think it's important to have things that no one needs to see just for yourself.
Yep.
So in terms of like, I mean, the most I'll do is like share stories of me gardening because I like gardening, or share stories of this or that. And in a roundabout way, it's weird how it works out where you can do the calculation where it's like me posting a story of me gardening gets people interested in that. Now they're coming here. Now I'm getting attention. Views and impression goes up. They end up in a roundabout way looping back into me more frequently, and they might be more exposed to an ad. So in a very strange way, you could rationalize it as that is part of the business.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's kind of important for anyone like us to not try to monetize everything we do.
Every aspect of your life.
Yeah, I don't think it's healthy.
So you're saying we won't have like a Juji speed typing channel coming out anytime soon?
And I won't be, and I don't plan to make like a sprouting kit or something. Because I mean, I've gotten into sprouting. I've gotten a lot of other people into sprouts because it's like most of the people promoting sprouts are like, well, they look like someone they don't want to look like. They want to look like this, and then you got like this big dude like doing this vegan hippie looking thing over here, and now people are taking an interest. So I've gotten a lot of people into sprouting, and they're excited about it, but it doesn't necessarily mean I need to monetize it. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So hopefully that answers your question. I think that's, what do you guys think? Do you think that's a healthy way of approaching it?
Yeah. It's, and you know, you're just to a significant more extreme than what we are, of like so much of your life is, you know, your business and who you are. So it's easier for us to have hidden hobbies and family stuff and all that's going on behind the scenes when not as much of our life is on display as yours.
What kind of hidden hobbies do you guys have?
Tommy?
For me, I got really into F1 racing in the last couple of years.
Okay. I would have never guessed that for some reason. You don't look like the type of guy that would be in racing.
That and like,
That was kind of out. I don't know that it's out of the blue, but like you weren't particularly into that at all. Like that was like relatively new, right?
I had never watched it in my life. I kind of always had a slight interest in cars, and then one day a podcast I was listening to had mentioned it, and you know, the Netflix show that, and like they said, this is a Netflix show that's great and you got to watch it. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I did. I kind of got sucked in, and then now I watch every single F1 race. So like that's one, I mean, more passive hobby, but you know, it is a lot like you said too, though, where it just feels like everything we do does to an extent always turn back into Massenomics or ideas. Like we talk about it how,
or it could be linked to it somehow.
Well, that's what we're like. You can't really watch a movie anymore without being like, oh, that's meme worthy, you know. And
that's a real thing for me. I actually can't shut that off. I can't watch a movie and not think, what can I pull from this that is, you know, like, what can I need to milk you for, you know, like this is, like I might be watching a movie, but I also want something from this that we can utilize too, which is, I have to be cognizant of that sometimes and kind of watch out for it. But you just in cars in general, you know, you became way more interested
an interest
in
of those.
Yeah.
And then like, I mean, if we're talking just like consumption, like, you know, I like YouTube in general. Like, there's a lot of channels where if I have free time, I'm going to load up YouTube, go to my subscriptions page and just see what's happening with a wide variety of things.
It is weird too, you know, so I have a day job outside of this, and, you know, our normal listeners know all about this. I won't get into the full story, but I have a day job outside of this, and really Massenomics is my, you know, it is our other job, but it's also like, that is my creative passion.
Yeah.
The thing that I do that I'm like, this is fun. This is great. You know, my job is just fine. I kind of I relate so much to your story about, you know, you have a job that allows you to still do the other things that you love, like training and everything else, you know, owning a gym and doing everything we do with Massenomics. But outside of that, it is tough because I spin it back to Massenomics all the time. I'm like, what can I do for this for Massenomics? A little bit outside of that is like my wife and I, we bought this old 1969 Chevy pickup. Yeah. And it's just kind of like, I'm not a mechanic at all, but it's just the way YouTube is and stuff. It's just like a fun thing for me when I have extra time. Be like, okay, I really want to replace the fan on the front of this. I don't just know how to do that. You know, it's not like I wasn't born as a mechanic, or, you know, I just haven't been taught a lot of that stuff. So it's just a fun project for me when especially it's like not our primary vehicle. It's just this project thing sitting around where I'll tinker with it and replace something and work on it. So want to emphasize I couldn't be farther from a mechanic. You know, but it is something fun that I enjoy doing in the spare time.
Yeah, I think the thing we're kind of getting at here is like, where do you draw the line between turning your quote unquote passion into your job or not? Like, what is like, because I don't think it's as simple as like taking advice at face value, like don't turn your passion to your job because then you won't like it anymore. It's not that simple.
No,
it's like, it's really not that simple.
I think some people are just wired that they're going to do that also. Mm-hmm. You know, like probably the three of us all sitting here are wired that way, that's what, you just want to do that.
And we actually, this just recently came up. I said, I have a job where I help clients with creative, different things with their businesses. So I have a bit of a creative outlet, but I was telling Tanner, I'm like, your job is a numbers job.
Yeah.
And you don't really get that creative outlet. Like if you didn't have Massenomics, what would you do? And he's like, I would just have to find something
it
to
would be
funnel
something
that into,
else.
But it's like part of how some people are wired. Like you have to find that thing to keep you challenged and interested and engaged.
Yeah. And I mean, also, it sounds like your day job is a lot different from Massenomics.
Just stark differences. It's just kind of crazy how
my day job was a lot different from what I do as well. But I looked at it as like, it's a nice break.
Yes.
Like I can take a break from this and like just focus on doing the biotech stuff over here, which is completely different work.
Yes.
No,
I completely relate to that. That is exactly what my experience is like right now, even too.
It's a good place to be. I think a lot of people think like based on like the type of content that's pushed by the algorithm based on people's behaviors, that they don't make it as a success or something unless they take that all the way. And I disagree with that. I think people can work an okay, boring, normal job, like, and if they're happy and they're like able to do all the other stuff they want to do on the side, hell, you've won.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't have to go any further. You can if things happen like it did to me, where it's like, holy shit, like I cannot work this job anymore while this shit's growing so much over here. And this is, you know what I mean? But if it never gets there, you're not a failure.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like having an okay job rocks, man.
There's a lot of people that would love to be in that position, you know, that don't have an okay, you know, that aren't there and would love to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
And I think a big part of having an okay job is like, I don't think it's okay to have a job you hate. Like, I just don't think anyone should work a job they hate. They should just probably try to find something else. But at the same time, you have to ask yourself, like, is the job bad or am I just bad at my job? You know, because with my old day job, I got to a point where it's like, I want to actually see if I can about 4 or 5 years into the 7-year biotech job, at a certain point, I was like, man, the computer they gave me is really fucking slow. Like, what is going on? Like, I had to wait like 15 minutes in the morning for my computer to boot up the one that they gave me. All right, so that little instant right there sparked like a whole chain of events. I was like, I'm going to bring my own computer to work, like a LAN party. This is like 2011 or something. This is a long time ago. I didn't have a laptop. So I'd start bringing my computer to work. And then I could take it home if I wanted to. So it's like, now I had a fast computer. And I was like, well, how else can I make this job easier? So I figured out ways of like, you know, like the Tim Ferriss 4-hour work week, delegate, eliminate, automate. I started doing that with my day job. I like, how can I do like 3 hours of work, which is probably about how much I had per day for an 8-hour work day. How can I do that in half an hour? Like, how could I just spend almost all my workday not doing work at my job because I get the job done that quick? Right. And I figured out little tricks on like how to use their software better and just like, and I got really good at it to the point where that's what happened. And now I had all this time to sit there and write a book.
Right.
You know, at work when they like, I got all the shit done, they don't care. Like, he's getting everything done. He's got a good attitude. Like,
it's output, not input.
Yes.
You know, some people might have taken them 6 hours to do what you were doing, but it took half an hour.
Yeah.
Same output. Mm-hmm. And that's what the measurement is. I think it's not input, it's output.
Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people look at it like you have that power. Like, you don't have to do it that way. And if you think you do, then you probably don't still.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just find a way to do it quicker so you can do something else you want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Software engineers at my old job, like, they were the epitome of that, because a software engineer is like, you don't know how long it's going to take to write it. Only they do. So I watched this dude over there, and he would finish this shit in like a day. And he'd sit there for a week and do nothing because no one could question him.
Right, yeah.
It's like he's the only guy that can write this code. And the other times, I mean, he'd be on the shit end of the stick where they think they give him something easy, and he'd be like, oh, God, that's not easy at all. You have no idea. Because no one really knew how much work that was. But I saw him play this game on his side sometimes, and I was taking notes. But I think that's a really good way of, like, how can you hack your day job so that you can get more time out of it so that it becomes a job that you dislike to a job that's like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay with this job now.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, Juju, we have this game we like to play.
Yeah.
We have a series of games and segments every week. One of them is What's in the Can. And we're nice enough. Big Sam brought us a can here, a special can, and it is V8 original 100% vegetable juice.
Yeah, I bought this on Amazon not too long ago.
Okay, 1 full serving of vegetables in this little tiny can.
Oh, I'm good for the week.
Well, here's the other thing. This can has 320 milligrams of potassium, which is the real reason
wow.
I drink it for health reasons, other than the
Yeah.
fact that I just wanted to have a throwback for V8 when I was like 9 years old.
I'm not sure if I've ever just drank
No?
straight up V8.
I was going to say the same thing.
We'll shake it.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
not
All right.
carbonated, so
Okay,
you want to get the...
So
the-
we're shaking it.
yeah?
And we have a system here, so we have to give this a rating.
Shake ASMR.
Yeah.
Shake ASMR,
Oh, yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Pop can. See.
Oh, yeah, that's also important. We're looking for a crispy crack when you get this. Oh, there it is. That was some crispy cracking, really.
Yeah.
That sounded,
acoustics
it sounded
enhance
really
it.
good in here. So we all have to take it, and we have to give this a rating. It's on really a 0 to 5 scale. It's J.D. Power and Associates Awards.
Okay.
If you're familiar with J.D. Power and Associates.
Yeah.
Half points are allowed, so 5 being the best score. Have we ever had a 5? I don't think we've ever had a 5.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so...
Oh, okay.
All right. Did you slam it?
Of course.
Yeah.
It's tasty.
How many? Okay, this is a 5.5 ounce can.
Yeah.
You know, they are not as bad as I remember them.
No, they're not.
I feel like
That's
that's the best
what
way
I'm
you could say it.
saying, yeah.
Not as terrible as what I was
As a
expecting.
child,
Yeah.
this taste is not very appealing. You know, when you're used to just sugary drinks.
As a
Everything is-
child, this still to this day actually reminds me of my mom drinking these, and I'm being like, Mom, disgusting.
Why are you doing that to
drinking
yourself?
vegetables?
Now you know
You're
why.
drinking vegetables. It's not enough to eat them. Now we have to drink them out of a can.
There's something here. I can see how people could like this.
It's how you pair it with something, too.
Yeah.
It really does at this point just kind of feel like cold tomato soup with pepper in it.
I was going to say, this tastes like I'm drinking tomato soup. And I like tomato soup.
Yeah.
But it's just a mind frame game with me that I'm like, why is the tomato soup in a can when I'm expecting like bubbly water to come out?
So
you know?
convenient, though.
Yeah. Oh, I could see myself getting these, and I could see myself drinking this for the pure health benefit of it, especially if don't necessarily eat as many vegetables as I would. You know, I don't know if it's. I guess I'm not an expert on V8. I'm worried. Is this one of those things they trick you into thinking is healthy, and then you have them, and you're like, actually, it's a lot better if you just eat your vegetables.
It probably is better
Yeah.
if you eat vegetables, but it's close enough.
Yeah. Tommy, rating?
I'm somewhere between. So I feel like you can't really rate this on our typical scale of carbonated waters because
Right,
we're,
this
we're
doesn't
talking a
taste as
different product
delicious
here.
as look.
But as far,
bubbly.
let's say for the category of like health drinks, something you'd be drinking more for the health benefits, I think I could give this a 3.5 if we're going to talk that game there.
Okay.
3.5 JD Powers.
I'm kind of at. I actually love your logic. I think that's what I'm at. As a 3.5 on this. Also, I think that's pretty much spot on.
Yeah. 3.5.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
just a guy that agrees with other people.
Right, right,
No,
right.
It's about a 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could tell you, other than the fact that I think it goes well with like what savory meals. So you have like
Yes.
some spaghetti and like some chicken or something. You have a V8 in the side. It's pretty good.
You know what this would be really good with? If you were having like a beef stick. I don't know if you ever have a beef stick. Like it's like a, a pepper stick or like it's like
a beef jerky.
Yeah, it's like or like a beef jerky snack. You
Yeah,
know, I
like
can
a
really
Slim
see-
Jim.
Yeah, like a Slim
Like a
Jim.
good Slim Jim.
Yeah, like right. A premium Slim Jim, and this would be a delicious little snack.
Do you feel like this would pair nice? You showed us earlier inside your cabinet. You do have some canned fish in there.
And sardines.
Yeah. Would this pair nicely with that? Do you think?
God, actually, it seems like it would, but it probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
Unless
see
you
that.
had crackers too.
Oh, some crackers.
You
in
had
the
some
mix, yeah.
crackers to go with sardines, and that would make that good enough to throw this in there. Yeah.
Okay, here's a South Dakota delicacy. I'm curious if you're familiar with this. If you ever come up to our neck of the woods, we'll certainly treat you to trying some. Have you ever heard of tiger meat?
No.
Tiger meat is.
Is it tiger?
It is not tiger. Tommy, could you explain what tiger meat is? It's raw ground beef.
Typically like a
with
higher cut, like there might be like some
raw
sirloin
ground sirloin. It's raw. It's served cold, and it's usually mixed with like green peppers and onions and like secret
bunch of
seasoning.
And it's raw.
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 And what you do is you take a saltine cracker, like grab like a butter knife or a spoon, scoop a clump up, throw it on your cracker.
Oh, it's like a pate.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's like
it's like,
tartare. Is actually
tartare.
people talk about tartare. We say it's
Yeah.
tiger meat.
I would be reluctant to eat unless the quality of meat was like pretty good.
It's
That's
pretty
what
good.
I would say too. I've never heard of anyone getting sick from it.
That's
though.
the thing that people always say, like, "Oh, do you like that? That's dangerous." But they're sold by like all the local grocery stores where we're at. It's
you
like
go to the
for
butcher
that purpose.
cabinet.
yeah,
for
no,
not
that's what
cooking.
it's advertised as tiger meat. To
Oh.
eat, you buy it in like refrigerated tubs that they make fresh there at the grocery store. You bring it back and you
Seems to be at the holidays.
yeah,
during the
or
holidays.
or
it's
like
always-
pheasant hunting is a do very activity where we're from.
Well,
you go out pheasant
so
hunting
here's
with the
let me
guys, and then
interrupt
you
you
come
real
back.
quick.
Yeah.
Here's a question: is this tiger meat? Is it for do locals eat it too, or is it?
Yes.
Just,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
No, yes, all the time.
Yeah.
Well, oh, for special occasions.
Yeah,
it's like a special occasion
Okay.
treat.
Well, the reason I asked is because when I went to Iceland, they had shark meat in all the grocery stores, and I kind of found out that was just a like.
It's a
prank.
trick for the
Yeah, it's a
tourists.
trick for the visitors.
No.
They didn't eat that shit. It smells like ammonia. It smells like a bottle of when you open it up. I'm eating ammonia. It's terrible.
No, it's not like that. It's actually the grocery stores compete like, we made it first. We made it first.
Okay.
You know, it's like who has the original recipe and
Yeah.
it's like
Oh,
a secret
okay. Do
recipe
they
kind of-
advertise it on like TV and stuff, or?
there's billboards
Billboards?
in
Oh,
town.
yeah?
Yeah, there's billboards in town.
I'd definitely try it for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'm not scared of anything like
Yeah.
that.
When we get you to come, we actually are well known. We've gotten mini billboards in our hometown before to advertise Massenomics.
I think it's brilliant.
Next time you come, we're going to put up a big Jujimufu in
Western Northeast South
yeah,
Dakota.
and put it you like in a thong up there, like, and then we'll all go take a picture by it. I can picture it already.
What's the most cost effective? Not cost. What's the cheapest billboard you've bought?
Well, actually, during COVID,
How
this
much
is
does a
how it
billboard
started.
go
So-
for?
So we have a guy that's
have a contact
Yeah,
with
it's always kind of like we have a
You have a
guy. It's
source.
like so we have a billboard source guy who is kind of follows along with Massenomics and is a fan, and he said. This was like right during like 2020, so things were weird at the time. He goes,
So people are pulling advertising money. 'Cause They don't
Yeah.
know what's happening, so no one's buying any of these placements.
and he reaches out and he's like, I know what you guys do. I'll follow your thing. I got a really funny idea, I think this is a cool idea. I can get you a billboard for like dirt cheap, So that first one maybe cost like $300.
Oh wow! For how long does it
And
stay up there?
well, it's normally a 4-week long contract.
A month for $300?
Yeah, well, I mean that's not typical, but it was like a factor of the times.
That's
that,
a
And so
great
he told
price.
us, and he told us, he goes, so you're guaranteed 4 weeks. It doesn't come down until there's one to replace it. And I don't think anyone bought that spot for like 12 weeks. The
we
billboard
got-
just never went
we
down.
got months and months of that billboard.
Yeah.
That's
And actually,
great.
what it was, the first one was just a really funny podcast review that someone left us, and it was just that giant text up there that said like, "This is a podcast, I guess." ... and that was about all it said, and it was just like Massenomics podcast, and that's all the giant billboard was. And it was there in our town for like 4 months. So it's funny, it's odd, but they're more expensive than that now. We kind of get one every year, and it's maybe $1,000, $800
For a month?
It all
Yeah.
depends on the demand and supply
Interesting.
situation, but
It's still really cool.
it's fun.
Oh, it
We
sounds
like
like
to
a lot
do
of
things
fun.
that are fun. If things are fun, we can justify spending some money on it. If if everything's working right and we're making some money, we want to use that money for fun stuff when we can.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's also about the memories. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
you guys
Absolutely.
you're in this company and you had billboards for no reason, just for
Ridiculous
shits and
billboards.
giggles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is fun.
Makes me want to look up billboard prices around here so I can
It's
put in there or something.
and then you go stand in front of it and do a silly video in front of the billboard. And
Oh, it's great content.
Yeah, it is great content.
Yeah, it pays for itself at that point.
It
you know
does.
what I mean?
You can't afford not to almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
We talked about you going places, doing collaborations. You've collabed with a ton of people up to this point. So many and some really cool ones. Even as of late, we were talking like James Fuller, a really cool one that people might not know about as much. And then you're with Grizzly in Greece here recently,
Yeah.
somebody that everyone knows about. What stands out to you? You've done so many. Do any of these experiences in particular stand out to you over the years of who
Most
you've
of
been
them
with?
do.
Yeah, right.
They all do.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's not like you gotta like think like you go in, it's like what you see on camera is not everything. Like some people, like I would say most of the interactions are good. Most of it's good. Like there's a few of them. It's like okay, well, behind the scenes that was a real annoying one to do. You know what I mean? But I mean,
So that's happened before.
oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, I would say,
Like this one, you're kind of thinking like these freaking
I would
guys.
say 19 out of 20 of them.
They're still. It is now dark. They are still here.
guys just can't take a hint.
Oh, are you kidding me? Like, we haven't even started yet, man. We go all day. This is what we do. We're getting paid for this. This is so we can afford the billboards, right?
Yes, that's right.
But no, you get to see like how they live, like what they're like off camera is different. Like some people are totally different off camera in good ways too.
Yeah.
Like Brian Shaw's great on camera. I love that guy off camera.
Right.
He's so fucking cool off camera. And
Right.
he's cool on video too, but like some people are just like they surprise you like that. You gotta like, oh shit, I didn't see that. This guy's fucking great
Yeah,
now.
even better than what I thought. Like
Oh,
I was
way
cool with
better.
you already, but now I'm like, oh, okay, you're awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because the camera changes things. Like you're a different person on camera.
You kind of have
you
to
have
be
to
to
be
it.
though.
Yeah,
That's one thing you figure out early is you can't just be like, hey,
Not to say you have to be
inauthentic,
unauthentic.
yeah.
No, that's not the goal, but it's just different. You can't be, it can't be boring. It can't be
Yeah.
lame. It's, there's got to be some excitement, and that's not, real life isn't always that, isn't always that high tempo too. There's more lulls than that, I guess.
Yeah. And you just learn a lot. Collabs for me is like the experience and learning and just like seeing these people and just like they impress upon you things like learning from you guys and like hearing your stories. And now I want to buy potted plants and I want to buy a billboard.
We talked about how many plants I have at my house, which our regular listeners kind of also familiar with.
That's
here, but,
just so many things like that, and just some of the like business things you guys do, or the fact you do it this way, like those things, like they'll sit back there, and then later they'll be like, oh yeah, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like you're influenced by all the people that you work with, so I'm lucky that I'm able to do the collaborations. I feel like I just got this magic hall pass for some reason. Like I could just work with anyone, you know? What I mean? It's just like, I'm lucky. I'm really grateful for it.
Yeah, so along those lines, now that you have collabed with Massenomics and you can finally cross that one off your list, is there anyone
long
that
time
is
coming.
It
Thank
has
you.
been. Is there anyone that is on your dream wish list of people
Yeah,
that you
that's what I
haven't
wanna
had a
know.
chance to collab with?
I get that question. It never pops in my head because I don't think I really have anyone. Like, I'm sure some people will be like, what about Arnold Schwarzenegger? This or that. It's like, I don't know. Like, most of the people I want to work with a lot of times aren't like the most glamorous, popular, high follower count people. You know what I mean? Like, I was really excited to work with James Fuller, Strongman Archaeology, and he was fucking awesome. This guy's a wizard. I love this guy. I talked to him on the phone. We message each other, and it's like, but he had like 10K followers on Instagram. Like a lot of the people that followed him knew, like, oh, this guy is like the real deal, but he just hasn't been able to get out there. And I was like, I got to go and see this guy myself. So like, those are the type of people I want to meet. It doesn't matter how popular you are or whatever. It's whether you're this type, like, I'm interested in this guy a lot. You know what I mean? So I follow and work with people, and people on the list of like my dream collabs are like, who the fuck is that? It's like, to me, that looks like a pretty good experience to meet that guy. You see what I'm saying? Right off the top of my head, I can't think, but I got some people on my list I haven't worked with yet.
The Arnold one, for example, is interesting because, like, of course he's an icon in the industry and everything like that, but you almost even wonder, say you do a collaboration with Arnold, like, are
you
that
stuck
an
on the
authentic
Arnold
feeling?
script?
I
Yeah,
mean,
is
is that an authentic even collab? Is that really a Jujimufu collaboration at that point in time, or is it like this? Is it a different thing than with someone like that?
Oh yeah, is it like something just to like create this hype?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or
Because he probably shows up with his like 5 people and they're kind
five?
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean,
50.
Yeah, right.
His entourage,
right,
the bodyguard. Yeah, right.
Yeah, have you seen him walk through the arm?
yeah. Yep.
It is like 50 people.
Yeah. So you kind of worry if is it really going to be even what you want to do or not then, because when you go see James Fuller, you go see Clint Darden, any of these people, you're going to do real stuff with them that they do, and you're going to live that experience with them. So it's just maybe a little different with someone like that anyways.
Yeah. I mean, like, some people are super popular and they're everything that you want them to be. You know what I mean? The Grizzly is perfect.
Yeah,
like, he's everything you want that guy to be. I love that guy. Larry Wheels is awesome. Like, I know he's one of the more popular people in the space, and you go and work with him and hang out with him. Like, I love Larry.
Yeah.
Larry's great, dude.
Yeah.
I can only say good things about Larry. He's awesome. I'm so happy that he's been able to do everything he's done because he deserves it. He's the real deal.
Yeah.
So it's really cool when people like match up with like their success at the same time. It's cool for me to see like, yes, it's just like, yes, it just works. You know what I mean?
Right,
like he's awesome and he's awesome. There we go. You know?
Yeah. So talking YouTube, we've talked to a lot of people and we've heard a lot of different responses to this. You know, if you're talking the business of YouTube, the game of YouTube, we have some people that are like, I just make my videos, do my thing, and whatever happens, happens. And we have other people like, no, YouTube's a game. I'm playing the thumbnail game. I'm playing the headline game. I'm always A/B testing and looking. Like, where do you feel like you fall in that spectrum?
I think more important than like figuring out the YouTube game is figuring out YouTube psychology. That's the most important thing, is figuring out what is going on in your head when you're looking at this shit, and what is going on through the heads of the people that are commenting, and what is the specific, like, I'll give you an example. I like this example because it's me and Sam use this one a lot. When you're looking at, let's say you get 100,000 views on a video, that's pretty good, you know. And you get maybe for 100,000 view video, you might get like 1,000 comments, maybe. Okay, so that's like 1% of people comment. Out of 1,000 comments, you might get like, on average, if it's a normal video that's not super polemic or political or anything, you might get like 20 negative comments, right? And maybe 20 positive comments, like over the top positive comments. So you might have like 40 of them. Like, what is that? Like 0.04%?
Right, yeah.
We're very small percent. Yeah. All right. And of those, just a few of them are just like really fucking like over the top negative or over the top positive. Now you're literally talking about, out of all the people that watch this video, there might have been 3 people that watch this, and those are the ones that stick in your head. Like, and now you're saying, oh, everyone's negative. Oh, everyone's because that guy is like, you know what the percentage?
3 out of 100,000, a guy.
3 out of 100,000 managed to get their voice and say this shit. But you know how many people are diagnosed with psychological illness?
Right. Yeah, a percentage higher than
like
that.
10% of people have something going on. It's like, this is literally probably a person in a psych ward right now typing things with their toes.
Right.
All right. So you got to keep that in mind. The other thing is like, would I ever go to a video and comment this shit? No. So you see what I'm saying? And it's just like, you play these different games about like this stuff to understand the psychology of commenters. And then there's also like, you know, what the saying, like there's a lot of these just you can kind of run through, kind of like, it's like Taoism. There's just a bunch of psychological games that kind of come full circle at the end. It's like, oh, I'm the same, but now I'm not.
Right.
You know, if a tree falls in the woods and it makes a noise, did it make a noise? Did you hear it? You see what I'm saying? Like, so if a guy on Reddit manages to write like 99 paragraphs about why they're the worst thing ever now, and you didn't read it, okay, so what?
What effect does that have on you?
Yeah,
Nothing.
I don't go to Reddit. I don't go there ever, because like these people don't even have the fucking balls to go to my own comment section and write this shit. Now they have to go use an anonymous name on a website. You know, it's just like, I don't even go there, so it doesn't affect me because I don't look at it. So there's different things as a creator you kind of have to have in your toolbox of like social media martial arts, sort of, to kind of like control yourself and to understand like kind of what you're looking at. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so in terms of like, is this like, do you game the algorithm or just kind of post what you post? You have to also realize like, some people are appealing to like a general audience because they're like, let's do a pull-up challenge on the beach. Let's do a fitness challenge. Let's do a worst gym versus best gym. Like with these crazy, like awesome looking thumbnails, it gets a lot of views because more generally that appeals to people. Like pop music is more popular than black metal.
Yeah, it's
more,
more,
you
it's
agree
just
with
more
that?
catchy.
It's just more catchy. But if you're the best black metal artist, you're not going to get as many views or listens in that case, but you're the best black metal band there is.
Some people that really like that then too.
Yeah. So my stuff, like, it doesn't get super high views like to a general audience, but if I want to niche down medium, like not super niche down, but like, okay, I'm right here. Well, I'm going to top out at views at about this point. It doesn't mean I'm a failure. It just means that like that's how big that audience is that wants that topic. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So you got to keep those things in mind. It's like, oh shit, only like 10, like this video got 1/10 my average views. But for the people that wanted that, and if you wanted to create that, holy shit, they were so happy you made that content. You see what I'm saying? And so was I. Like I love doing the hardcore home gym videos.
Yeah.
We've been doing that this year. And they do okay, you know. But for the people that want that, they love it.
Yes, and that's we talk about that too. That like, there is that audience of those certain topics that, however big or small they might be, if that is their thing, that is their thing, and they will love you for that.
Yeah.
Like the hardcore home gym thing, you've done maybe about 10 of those or so.
Nine. The 10th one is going to be Boogs next month.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you feel like even that you've learned, like over doing 9 or 10 of those, that you've like learned something there where you're like, okay, this is really like you're starting to figure out like this is how I go about this process when we're going into this home gym.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
We kind of figured out like, well, a typical formula for me when I go and collab is if they have a gym, it'd be a home gym tour, it'd be a workout video, and then a podcast.
Yeah.
So I don't have to think of video ideas because there's kind of like this standard template, and if anything else comes out of that, it's just bonus, and it always does. There's always some other shit we get into or another video or some sort. Great, but at least I know like this is kind of like how I'm choosing who to go work with is like, can I hit most of these, and is this person interesting to me? Because I'm going to go find something interesting, even if other people don't think they're interesting. I don't care. I don't go by how popular they are or whatever. But so it's just like you look at views, and it's just like, oh well.
Yeah.
I don't care. I like this video.
Right.
I thought this was good material. And what's interesting about YouTube, you guys have probably noticed this. If it's a really good video, like deep down inside, this is a really good video.
Yeah.
YouTube will often redeem you. I don't think it's YouTube. It's people talking to other people. Like we did a Litvinov workout video where we did Sergey Litvinov's workout from the hammer thrower. When I watched that video, I was like, this is a perfect video. Like this is like a perfect video for this channel. It has a story arc. It has like 5 stages of drama. There's always something going on. It's like, it just kind of like clicked. Everything just worked. And the thumbnail's garbage. I knew the thumbnail was trash.
Yeah.
All right. So I was really excited. I edited that one myself and we posted it, and it's just kind of dead. I'm just like, I'm still happy I did it because God, what a great experience it was. That shit's at almost 1 million now. Okay. So that it's like because people went and said, no, this is actually like real human beings will go tell other real human beings that this is a good video and you need to watch it. So if it's actually good, most of the time it will start
Give
to
it
like
time.
Yeah, give it time.
That makes sense. It's like we kind of even take like apparel to that. What we've been falling back on lately, which I like to think about, is like, well, do we actually want to wear this? Like, do you and I actually want to wear this? Because we'll start to think, is that what people would like? And then they're like, well, what do we like?
Quit trying to like pretend who this imaginary customer is. Like, just do we think it's cool at the end of the day?
Can you give me some examples of that? Because apparel, like merch, I've always been, I make functional apparel with no designs, but merch, like we've tried that off and on for years. I'm really bad at it. So it is not a strong point of mine.
It's
so
really
I didn't know
hard.
what to do.
It is really hard. And if you just knew what was going to hit, you'd be a multi-millionaire, if you just knew. But I guess a trap that we've gotten into or in the past was thinking like, the more elaborate, the crazier, the bigger, flashier the design is, the better. Like, is this telling a joke and have 5 colors on it and a full print on the back and also a full print on the front, a print on the back? Like, more is always more. And then eventually we're like, yes, some of those shirts were really cool. And those are we have some of those in our vault that we haven't had for a while that are some of our favorite designs. But at a certain point, we're like, also, it's kind of cool just to have a shirt that is more just subtle, more low-key, like even just as simple as like it just says Massenomics. And
I bought this. They didn't give me this. I bought this with
we charged you
my
double.
5 drink spotters I had to have because I needed one for every station in the gym.
That is a true story. I think the first time we saw an order come in, and
we always have this thing if it's someone that we've known for a long
Dave
time.
Tate ordered something one day, and I'm like
immediately like, oh my God,
that is Dave. And sometimes there's duplicate names.
Yeah,
is there
another
it's
guy
in
named
London,
Dave Tate
Ohio.
in
You're
I'm
like, no, that's Dave.
Yeah, then we get one from John that comes in, and I go, okay, that actually even takes me a second because I'm like,
name.
I know that name. And then I'm like, okay, that's Jujimufu. And then I'm like, okay, that is the state I believe he lives in. Just this funny thing. And we get a kick out of that. Like, we could sell 1 million drink spotters, and it's still like a name pops up of somebody you know, and it's
really
just cool.
exciting.
It's fun.
Yeah,
It's exciting. It makes it cool. That's the thing about the merch. And we analyze it too much, even probably sometime where we're like, this color. we both really like this color.
Well,
but
we
it's
had a
kind
shirt
of
on that color 2 years ago.
And it's light purple. Do people want to wear a light purple shirt? And it's kind of like, well, we both really like it.
But we've
you know
never
what?
done light purple.
Right.
It's like,
But
okay,
we
we've
both
been
think it's
talking about,
cool.
We've been talking about the purple for an hour now. It's like at a certain point we just do the damn thing. And we'll just
After
stop.
certain things, it's like
Yeah, we can't slice and dice this any more ways, any more.
Or they'll
We
be
just-
like the most minute detail in the artwork, and we're like, you know what? Actually, even when that prints, I won't even look at that. So it's like it's just you just.
well, it's
gotta
because
do
a
it.
lot of times they won't even know what the other option was.
Yes,
That's the
yes,
thing you gotta keep
right.
in mind. It's like they don't know what we're choosing between. All they see is like appears as a product.
right.
So they're not gonna be like, oh man, you really should have gone for that darker purple tone.
That's what it is. We remind ourselves like we are our harshest critics on this stuff,
Yes.
which we should be. You know, like we should be the filter that puts out what we think is the best thing at the end of the day.
Something that I think is interesting, my partner in this is Tommy. We both go home. We have wives and kids and stuff like that. Your partner in crime is, it is one and the same. Your business, your home, your life, and Big Sam over here.
I'm blessed to have her.
And you're not the only one that does that. We've worked with several people where that's the case. Like, is that? Are there challenges to that? Like, do you guys ever hang around at night and can you stop talking about what needs to happen? With or
You know, it's funny.
like
I think
or,
I can stop talking about it more than she can
yeah.
because I have to tell her like 10:30 at night. I'm like, don't talk to me about that right now because we can't do anything about it. Like we're sitting there. We take Epsom baths a lot together. It's one of the things we do. Like we just like Epsom soaks. It's relaxing before bed. You just sit there and lay in a bath with Epsom salt. And sometimes she'll bring up like some work stuff. Don't talk about that now. She's over there. She's behind she's actually making sure this damn Sony camera stays on because it turns off automatically every 30 minutes. She's right there looking at me. But I think she has a harder time turning it off than I do. You have more intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, you let the intrusive thoughts win more often.
It's like what's the meme with like women and men? Like women are like a browser with like 55 open tabs. And a guy is just like just a blank desktop. It's like there's nothing going on up there.
Or I like the one he's rolled over. It's like I wonder what he's thinking about. It's like,
all right, no, she's like, I bet he's thinking about
X and
such
like,
and such.
Did I do 9 sets or 10?
Yeah,
what was
yeah.
it? It was
He's like,
it's always something stupid.
He's like, what is my favorite Creed song? It's never what she. It's never deep.
Never
it's
anything
always
of like major importance.
That is true to a certain extent too, probably. Yeah. So that is interesting though. That is a whole different dynamic. We don't experience that really. I guess like our wives are interested in Massenomics, of course, and they understand what's going on.
At a certain point, they just say, "Give me the abridged version," because there's a lot of backstory here. So just catch me up.
Yeah. It's a pretty big competitive advantage though to your when your wife is like, you guys are like a team like that because. I mean, like, she films everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? She does all the stuff at the warehouse for the most part. And she takes care. My dad does customer service for us.
Okay.
He's been doing that for 7 years. He's a 73-year-old man in Huntsville, Alabama, doing customer service stuff. And she helps him with that stuff. So I can focus on being fucking weird and writing shit and being, like, distracted by the internet. I don't know. You know what I mean? So it's really nice,
Yeah. Tommy, should we do any overrated, underrated, or do you want to do some other stuff before that still? Yeah.
Let's do a really quick look at the notes here.
Yeah.
I think we've covered most of the items.
Yeah, unless you want to cap this at a certain time, I'm good. This is awesome.
Okay.
We're at the hour mark right now.
Okay, yeah. And I do have a couple additions to over under too that we haven't that aren't necessarily.
Yeah, you can hop in it because that'll go a little while.
Yeah, I think you got it. Okay. So overrated, underrated is a game we play with every single guest. We never skip overrated, underrated.
What is this rated as? I say it's rated probably about right.
That's not an option.
That's a different rating
That's
scale.
actually important to note in overrated, underrated. You can't ride the line. There is no fence sitting. It's kind of what makes the game what it is.
Because this is 3.5. It's like right in the center. It's like,
you can't say something is appropriately rated. You can justify it however you want to.
So it has to be like black or white.
Yeah, you have
to be
to
like
yeah,
all
yeah.
for it or not for it
right,
at all.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And it
Overrated or
doesn't.
underrated?
It's not necessarily is it good or is it bad. Some people play it different way. They think, how is the general public rating this? Like, what's the perception of this? And
wait a minute. Let me ask you a question. What if something is properly rated?
Well,
yeah, it doesn't really get to be properly related.
That's the rule.
Rated.
It
You
does
can
not get to be.
you can talk that out, but ultimately, at the end we have to have you ride one side or the
Darn
other.
it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you
pick a side.
you get your druthers to a certain extent, but
Jeez, I'm worried now.
yeah. And we warned you that this show is very political, and this is where we get to all the. This is where we finally get there. You know, we warm people up for the first hour, and then we're like, okay, now we're going to grill you with all
In
the
the business, we call
stuff.
that a bait and switch.
Oh, I see. All right.
Okay, overrated or underrated pink flamingos?
Overrated. I'll be honest.
What's the story?
It's easy. I went to Lowe's and I bought $250 worth of pink flamingos, and I went outside to do a video with them that didn't turn out. In the last second, I was like, let me just put them in a circle and kick them. And then I made thousands of dollars off of a video that went viral. It's exactly how that went down. And I wrote off the pink flamingos on my taxes.
So, like in that,
as
when
a
you're
business expense.
I feel like that video, you're going through the full emotions. It's like, great idea. This is going to be awesome. You start making it, and then slowly the expectations just start turning. And then it sounded like you're frustrated. You kick them. When that's done, are you like, now I got something, or were you still frustrated on the idea?
I was like, well, this is better than the original idea. Well,
Okay.
I'm done with this.
So you still
I'm
weren't
tired.
like, I conquered that one. This is great.
No, not at all. The original idea was we had some guys that did flips out there on a big field, and we were doing slow-mo tricks like acrobatics, and every time we did one, we were going to put one more flamingo in the background, and I had like, I don't know, 30 or 40 of them. So it was just going to be like a buildup of flamingos. It'll be like, oh shit, there's more of them. Like that was the point of a longer video idea. And I think it just got boring, or like people were doing moves that go off camera, and it was hard. And I was just like, I got an idea. So I was like, I put them in a circle, and I was like, I just put the tripod down. I was like, okay, let me just do this thing real quick. So I just did a cheap 540 kick is what it was called. It yelled flamingo, and then I just like started kicking them. I did one shot, one take. I just went around in a circle and kicked them all and ran off screen, and then that was it. Everyone was laughing. They thought it was funny. I was like, I'm done with this flamingo thing. I'm hot. I'm thirsty. I want to go home.
Yeah.
You know, because we've been out there for like 2 hours, and that was it. I just posted that, and shit, that was that one. Yeah, I'm the flamingo guy now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The creative process, then, it brings up a question to me. How much of what you do, whether it's YouTube or even more so, I'm thinking like the shorter form, Instagram Reels, that sort of thing. Do you have a list that you're maintaining all the time? Like, yeah, I've got like these 20 ideas right now, and then like I'm writing them all down, and then I'm filtering them out more. How much of it is just like the day of, you're just like, yep, here's what we're doing. I want to do that. I want to do this video.
Let's say 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't think you're going to actually be out there in a moment where it's like, oh, I'm going to do this instead. Unless you had an idea to get you out there to begin with.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It
yeah.
does.
So we might have okay, so I'll give you an example. Boogs was here just like 5 days ago. He was just here.
Yeah.
And his original idea when coming here was he wanted to do some old-time strongman lifts because he's never done them, and he was just going to set world records on all of them. You know, be a jackass, you know. And we went out there in the driveway, and we were going to do like side bends and like side lifts and stuff. And he got really obsessed with the wheelbarrow. I got the Mike Bartos like wheelbarrow thing, and he was just like, I want to do that. I'm like, okay, let's do that. So the original idea was to go out there and do like one-armed barbell lifts, and then I could tell that all he wanted to do is wheelbarrow. So we just did an entire wheelbarrow video. You know what I mean? And then it just got to the point where it's like, oh, I have an idea, and I haven't posted this yet because this is so recent, but I did a video a while back where I had the wheelbarrow, and I had an SSB, and I was dragging a tank behind me, and it did really well. Like,
yeah.
It did. I used it like, I've posted it like 2 or 3 times at this point, and it's just like, let me just post this again a year later.
Working, yeah.
It just keeps working. And so I was like, oh, wait, we got 2 people. Let's do it again, except for I'll be on an air bike on the tank behind you screaming, and we'll post that. So I'm sure it'll do fine, but like we wouldn't have had that idea until we had.
If you weren't out there already with another idea,
until we had got all the way out there. Yes, so that's how that works.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, overrated or underrated? Let me see what's next on our list. The Sims.
I mean, I used to play that game a lot. I don't know what the new one's like now.
Well, let's go off of your memory.
I don't hear anyone talking about it anymore.
Yeah, I don't as much either, but I mean, I was right there with it when it came out. I was like,
I loved
probably
it.
the 5th, 6th grade. I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say underrated.
Okay.
Because I mean, I know a lot of games trend, and you see a lot of gaming memes, but I don't see anything about The Sims, and I think that's a really like good game. Like, there's a lot.
That's how you logic overrated, underrated. See,
really?
That's how the game. That's how you play the game. Yeah,
am I doing okay?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
right. I think The Sims underrated.
And
Okay.
you even showed us earlier. You had like your character that you were
Hawaii Oyster.
Yeah, what was his name?
Hawaii Oyster.
Hawaii Oyster.
Yeah, it's my
you
Sims
now have
character.
a portrait of him in your gym.
Yeah, I got a portrait of my sim from the year 2000 when I was 14 or 15 years old, and I played The Sims, the original Sims game, and it has a few expansion packs and stuff. Yeah, those are great games.
Do you game at all now?
I don't actually.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
I don't. I don't have anything against it. I feel like running a business is like what playing a game feels like when it gets really addictive.
Yeah.
Like I feel like business.
It is the ultimate game.
It is the ultimate game.
Right.
Yeah. And then it becomes like when business blurs the line between business and life, like we're talking about, like now I don't even know if like gardening is like part of the business or not. Because if I'm doing content out there for my stories and it leads to this, there's like now it's all connected into this thing that's just like, holy shit, this is like a big game I'm playing. You know what I mean? Then you get really addicted to it. That's why when you ask me like, do you ever take a day off? I'm like, I think that's like taking a day off life. I don't,
Right.
How do I not
no,
life?
I can't do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. It's kind of hard not to life.
Right. Okay. Overrated or underrated spreadsheets? An Excel guy.
Way
Spreadsheets.
underrated.
Okay.
Way underrated. Why is because if you get into using spreadsheets, I'm not good at them. I'm not bad at them. I'm okay at them.
Okay.
But I know some guys who are really good at spreadsheets.
Right.
And they're like,
Making pivot tables.
holy
and getting
shit.
Crazy with it. Yeah,
It's probably the best way to organize information, period. It's just like you can just anything, training, diet, ideas, anything. I don't know. Spreadsheets are totally underrated. I think it's probably a good thing to look into getting better at them. You know, kind of like keyboard shortcuts.
Yeah.
We talked
That's
about
something we
that.
were talking about today.
Oh, yeah.
Shortcuts
Tommy's
all
a
day.
keyboard shortcut guy too.
Dude,
yeah.
it's probably one of the best investments of your time in the past.
It absolutely is. If people are not aware, go watch a YouTube video or watch someone that knows shortcuts and see what they get done in a half hour, and then sit around someone that doesn't, and you'll be shocked what's actually possible.
And then there's like, I use, for example, Windows key E. Okay, so it just opens the Explore thing.
Yep.
Like, before I knew that, like, how did I even do that before?
You go down and click that 1,000 times a day.
Yeah.
And
Now it's just like,
I'm on a Mac. It's Command Spacebar all day long. Command Spacebar.
There's so many good keyboard shortcuts. So it's just one of those things, like, once you learn it, it's like permanent upgrade in your life. So I feel like spreadsheets is kind of in the same category.
And some of them, I don't know if this is like, I don't play like the piano, but sometimes I wonder, is it like if you were to tell me, if you were to say, recite what that is, I'm like, I don't know. My hand does it.
just know.
My hand just does it when I know it needs to happen, and that's how it goes.
Yeah. And there's a lot of programs you can learn it for, like Photoshop, Premiere, or any of those content creation softwares. Like, it's good to go in and even like macros for a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like, I got a few of them. It's just like, you know, like a little foot pedal or something.
Yeah.
Just something simple, or like a button you make. I got a button over there that I had my friend make. It's probably one of my favorite things in this gym. It sounds weird. It's like a button. Yeah. I got a button on my Stream Deck. It does 19 things. So I'm going to tell you what it does. When I put an SD card in the computer after we film, I press one button and it will copy things and put it in a permanent spot on my hard drive. And then it will copy things and put it in the shared drive for my editor. And then it will delete the files only after it copies everything. And then it will actually eject the card and notify my editor that it had
See,
That's pretty cool.
all after film. All I have to do is go over there, put that thing in, and press a button, and I'm done.
Yep.
It's fucking
that's great.
crazy.
And it's something you're using every single week too.
Yeah.
You're always using it.
Yeah.
So how much time does that? I mean, that saves you actual real time every time you
Well,
go through that process.
it's not just time it saves. It's one of those things where you realize, like, I would procrastinate doing this for like stripping footage off a card because it's like, oh, I got to put this in places and
and then
upload
it's
it.
the
Like,
mental weight
it might
of-
not even get done in 3 days.
Yeah, and then it's the mental weight of like, oh, okay, I got to sit there and wait for this to be done, make sure it copied, and then I can send the email. Because
And then I can
just a
eject the
waste of time.
card.
Yes, and then eject the card. Yeah,
Yeah, it does it all automatically in a push of a button. It's just like, it's awesome. You know what I mean? So that kind of falls in line of like keyboard shortcuts and things like that. They're neat to have little tricks like that up your sleeve.
Yes.
Man, I like this game.
Yeah, overrated or underrated? We'll see if you know why this is the topic. Overrated or underrated? The Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme.
I never had one.
Oh no!
I don't think I'm qualified to answer a question.
Oh no! Yeah. What
to
about
be-
Taco Bell in general? Then have you had Taco Bell?
Not in a long time. I think it's overrated.
Yeah.
I will say, like, you know, especially when you're younger, those college days, Taco Bell just felt like this amazing experimental fast food Mexican kitchen.
Yes.
It's like, what are those crazy minds going to pump out this month?
Chalupa.
And,
That's a weird one.
Well, how many different things can they do with a flour tortilla?
with just cheese and taco meat.
Yeah,
Like how many ways can they do? And it was cheap and it was good. And Taco Bell is one that lately has really suffered from the quality and the price game. Like,
Wait a minute. The quality has gone even worse?
Oh,
how could the quality get worse?
The worst. This might be one of the worst
bad.
fast food experiences.
Yeah.
On our way actually to home gym con, we stopped at Taco Bell. It was like 11 o'clock at night. It's late. They're open late.
They're supposed to be.
As they're supposed to be. That is their that's their hour.
Yeah.
Tanner got we both got the chicken quesadilla.
Yeah.
Tanner's quesadilla maybe had a half an ounce of cheese in it, and that was it.
It was just 2 pieces of
It was mostly just
tortilla.
2 shells is what it
Yeah.
was. And I'm like, really? Like
Yeah.
it didn't, the chicken didn't make it. The cheese mostly didn't make it. And I've had several experiences across different Taco Bells across different states that have somewhat mirrored that. So yeah, they've lost their way, I think.
Really? I can remember in like the late 90s, like it tasted like Taco Bell.
Oh,
you got what you
yeah.
expected.
There was a lot. I thought chalupas were just amazing. I could eat chalupas every day. They were so good.
Yeah.
Tommy mentioned Home Gym Con. Are you going to Home Gym Con?
Going next year.
Yeah, you're going in 2025.
Well, they're
to
in Kentucky
Louisville.
this year.
Yeah.
The last few years they've been in a weird spot up there that's kind of hard to get to, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, French Lick. It's off the
French
beaten
Lick.
path. Yeah.
So you'll go set up a booth there. It'd be
We have a Grip Genie booth.
Grip Genie booth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. I think that's great.
I'm excited to go because I'm a big home gym guy.
Yeah.
yes, you are.
Literally big, but also like big, and I think
literally big,
Yeah.
and just figuratively big.
It's just all big.
Yeah,
Everything's
the
big.
triple big.
I mean, if you don't have a home gym in 2030, like what even are you? It's gonna be like a bathroom or like a kitchen. It's like whose house doesn't have a bathroom or a kitchen? Like everyone has a kitchen or a bathroom.
I do think you'll really enjoy it there too because the people there, they love it.
They do.
Like
Yep,
the people that are coming there, they're just
It's
they're
not like
very
the Arnold
passionate
where
about
it's just like people are just funneling through. People are going with the idea of seeing you, talking to you, and like spending time with you, and it's just nice, comfortable conversations all day long. So,
Great.
Yeah.
I'm excited to.
Yeah,
go
we're
there and-
proponents of it. It was fun for us this last year too. It was cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. We're actually talking about that. You've done a variety of them. You've been at the Arnold before, obviously. Anyone that's been to the Arnold kind of understands what the Arnold is. You also gone to the Shaw Classic before.
Been to Olympias.
Yeah.
I've been to all the Fit Expos back in the day. I haven't been to one of those in a while, but like LA, Anaheim.
Yeah.
They used to have them in Florida. They have Chicago Fit Expo. So I was doing the Fit Expo circuit for a while there. But yeah, I've been to all the fitness expos. For
It can
most
be
part.
reward, fun experience meeting so many people. Also, it is mentally it's exhausting going through that process, though. I mean, it can be you feel it by the end of one of those weekends.
I call it people washing.
Yeah,
That's the term I use. You're just being washed by people.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, you're just standing in an elevator and just like,
it's like shell
whoa.
shock.
Yeah, you're like shell shock.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is weird, and it's interesting for us. I know too because you know what especially for me, even in particular, because I work this normal day job. So we'll go to the Arnold and we'll talk to thousands of people that are excited and passionate about what we're doing and love it. And they're like,
They want to take pictures with you.
fans and like,
And
do
they
fun
know what
stuff
you
with
talk about. They keep up with what you're doing.
And then we run into Jujimufu and hang out with him, and we hang out with all of our other, friends that we haven't seen in a year or 6 months or whatever. And it's just this crazy blast of an experience, and the people watching all that.
Yeah.
And then I go back on Monday and go sit down at my office, and it's like,
It's like a dream.
It's just like shock almost. It's like, what was that?
Dude,
There
because
couldn't be a
I used
more
to go to Fit
extreme-
Expos and do the same thing and have a line of people all day long and
Right,
then go
right.
back and be at work on Monday.
And then
Because
the
I used to
people
use
at work are like,
weekends to go
"Oh,
there.
there's John. Finally made it back to work.
No, dude, I did the same thing for
Yeah.
2 years there. Yeah, I did the same thing for about 2 years there. Yeah.
It's funny. It's just weird.
Well, actually, it's the people at my day job didn't know what I did until
Right.
like the last year because
That's the way I like that, though, too.
they had no idea until I was on America's Got Talent, and then they're like, "What the
yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
He was at work this week, wasn't he? Now he's on America's Got Talent."
Were they literally like, you were on America's Got Talent? Like, they were like, they did not know.
They had
most
no
of it.
clue. They
Yeah.
had no clue anything. All they do is like the dude likes to lift weights and eats a lot of food all day long. That's all he
Right.
does. He sits in his office. So I walk in and the HR woman is like, "Hey, Clark Kent." I was like, "Huh? Yeah. and they're all on their computers like Googling me and like
Yeah, they're like,
Jujimufu,
oh my
and
God.
it's like bag cat's out of the bag. They know we know who you are now.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
they had no
yeah.
idea. That was let's see, I quit my day job December 2016. They found out about it in like April or May when the
I
show
love
aired.
that though. That is a
That's
great
the-
way.
Yeah, they had no clue what I did
keep it
until
on the down low.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do love that. That is awesome. I didn't realize that. That's great. Yeah. So home Gym Con though, check it out if anyone's going to be Louisville in next June, right?
Yeah, end of June 2025.
Okay.
I got one more story about that, actually.
Yeah.
I used to, the building I worked at was kind of weird, and I'd filmed some really stupid shit there when everyone went home.
Yeah.
And so that day I was like, oh, fuck, they're going to find the jump rope video where I was like jump roping in everyone's office around the building when they're all gone. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because everyone I worked with was like 60 and 70-year-olds, you know. Now they're going to like, now they know who I am. They're and they go on my Instagram now.
some
What the
digging.
fuck is he doing at work? This is the building we're
That's
working
my
in.
office,
That's
yeah.
my office. He's doing a jump rope thing and screaming with no shirt on.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking too, circling back to the Taco Bell comment, you know, for anyone that doesn't know, that your chair split video, I think.
Yeah, it was on Taco Bell
Yeah,
once.
that was the Taco Bell commercial, right? So how did that chair split? What was that process like? Because did that get picked up by a variety of things? Like how does that work?
What'd you say? Google as
Google.
well. Yeah,
Okay,
that was so what happens is that was actually the first money I ever made in fitness. That was the
Okay.
first time I made money. So I did the chair split video, and then I posted it, and it did really well, and then it went viral. It was the first thing I ever went viral.
How viral? What did it go? How many?
I got
what was
like
it?
100,000 followers in a day.
And like, how big was your account at this time before that
I
happened?
think I had like 3,000 followers.
Oh, okay.
So
So,
you
like,
went
you were
from
just a guy
3,000 to 100,000 in a day.
Yeah, it was.
That is insane.
Yeah, it was back then. Yeah, it was nuts, but it was something like that. I mean, at least is pretty
Right.
quick gain. And then there's different companies that you can license media to, and Jukin Media was like, they contacted me and they're like, we would like to buy the rights to use this clip and sell it to other people, and you will get a cut of everything. I had no idea what it was. I never heard of anything like this. I'm still working with them today. They're great people. They've done.
Okay, so
I actually just checked my email a second ago. I was setting up this podcast. It's like $162 from Jukin. I'm like, cool,
okay,
couch
so
money.
This isn't
Cool,
the story
yeah.
of like I got screwed over on a
No,
contract.
no, they're
Okay.
fucking great people. I encourage everyone, like Jukin's great, but so they, you know, it was like an 80-20 split. So I get 80% of the revenue,
Oh.
and all they do is just like, they go like, someone will be like, Taco Bell will be like, we need something kind of crazy and kind of silly that's fitnessy. Yeah, I got you. Here's Jujimufu's chair split video.
Yeah, right.
And they
right.
started doing that to like everyone, and it's just like, so I'm not talking to Taco Bell. Jukin is. And then the weird thing is, I would never know, and I still don't to this day, where it is ever, because I don't get paid until the ad has stopped airing like 2 months later.
Oh,
So, and Jukin doesn't tell me, they can't tell me when a buyer buys. All I hear is like someone going, dude, you're on a Taco Bell commercial. I'm
Like, did that happen? Then someone messaged you and was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you're on Taco
Yeah.
Bell," and you were like, "What?" Or you're like, "Where?" What? And then
Exactly.
then you're looking it up.
it's
to go
still
find
like
it.
that today.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the first time I saw it myself, where it's like someone didn't tell me, because back then, like the video it's 10 years old. The video is 10 years old almost. So I would never know where the shit go. People would be like, dude, I just saw you on a banking commercial in Britain. I was like, cool, payday in a few months. You know, that money's coming. I don't get paid yet, but I know that's. And I remember me and Sam were sitting there watching TV in the apartment, and there's a Google commercial. Google's big. I mean,
They
Google's
are
not a
big,
small
but
company,
they
right?
are a big
And
company.
there I am on the
I've
TV.
heard of those guys.
And there I appear on the TV, and it's just like, that's the first time I was like, oh shit. Cha-ching.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Because no one had to tell me. I saw it first myself, and that was $9,000. You know
I
what
bet
mean?
that's a cool, like, the kind of a surreal experience there, though when you see that for your first time, and you didn't know it was going to be there. You're like,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, but I mean, they still license a lot of my clips to other people, and I just never know where it is at any given time. I just find out after the fact from people telling me, dude, you're on a Taco Bell commercial. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess I'm getting paid later this year.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's a lot of fun. They've done me really well, because that has given me exposure outside of social media. So it was just a huge win-win. They make money off my videos, and they talk to people. I can't call Taco Bell and be like, hey man, I really think you should put me on your commercial. Yeah. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. So it's just a win-win for everyone. There's a lot of things like that in this industry that are just like win-wins for everybody. You know what I mean? But that's one of them ones that've been good for me.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think this is our final, unless we have any last minute additions.
I don't even remember what that overrated and underrated question was.
Taco Bell.
Okay,
Taco Bell. We went from look how far we went off the Taco Bell path.
That's the way that when this game goes its best, that's what happens. So okay, overrated or underrated? The Mazda 5.
I have one.
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
Did you plan that question? Or?
Yeah, we planned that question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's underrated.
Yeah.
Why do I still have it out there?
Yeah, right.
I could buy another car. I just like it. Yeah. I bought it. Okay, so I bought that car.
Maybe you should explain what a Mazda 5 is, because it is kind of a unique vehicle.
It's like a small van.
It's like a mini van.
It's like a mini van. Yeah.
And what year is the one you have out there?
2012, which is like one of the last years they made it. I think they stopped making it in 2014.
When they were really like perfecting it at that point.
Yeah. So, I took the seats out of the back. It's never had the seats. I used to throw my bumper plates and barbells and deadlift jack and drive to cul-de-sacs and just like train out in the middle of nowhere for cool footage. I did that all the time. So I was just like, this is a perfect vehicle because a truck is great, but it's like if it rains, so I throw things in. I like the sliding doors on vans. I'm a van guy. I don't know. I think vans are super useful.
They are super practical.
You just have to not care about, it's not like people don't drive in really cool cars down the road and be like, wow, that guy is so cool. Nobody says that. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? So it's like, I like the van. I bought it new when I got lucky in the stock market. And that was the only time I was lucky in the stock market, when I bought a bunch of biotech stock that was speculative and it quadrupled in price, and I bought a car with all the money. That's how that works.
It's a tale's oldest time. You cash out and buy that Mazda 5.
Yeah. It was a nice win before all the losses on the coal stocks I started speculating with after that, which is really stupid. I didn't know what I was doing, but I still have it. It's I've put every mile on that car.
So how many miles are on it?
I think not very many. I don't drive much anymore, but only like 113,000.
It's just getting broken in. You're good.
Yeah, basically. Like I used to drive a lot more when I had to drive to work or when I had to drive different parts, but now I'm a fucking hermit that lives in this weird room. And it's all or nothing, man. Either I'm a hermit and I'm here for like weeks and I don't talk to people,
or you're gone.
And I have guests like you. That's great. Or I'm gone. I'm in Greece or Cyprus or LA or like doing Fit Expo. So it's just like there's no middle ground for me.
Yeah. I would say it's not about the car you drive. It's the arm you hang out the window. That's all that matters.
It's always a weird flex when you got someone tailgating the shit out of you. It's like, I'm driving 5, 10, 15 over the 10, 15, 25 over the speed limit. What is wrong with you? You roll down the window, stick your arm out in the van, and I'm just like, I hope you see my arm. I hope you see how big my arm is. Yeah, I'm a big guy in a small van.
Take that.
Take that.
Yeah. It's the opposite. I'm not a small guy in a big truck.
It's the opposite of a big guy in a small van.
Yeah. That's good.
Big forearm. Yeah. Type fast too.
We've got this question that I'm just now thinking is particularly relevant to you. We've asked a lot of important, influential people this same exact question over the last, say, 12 months. We've gotten answers from longtime strength coaches like Dave Tate. We've got answers from doctors like Dr. Mike, and just across the gamut. And we've heard so many different responses to this question, and I think you're also uniquely qualified to answer this because you are a what's that word? I think actually at Elite FTS they use this in a title of one of your times, like a polymath.
Polymath?
Yeah, but you're like the polymath of fitness and strength.
Polyathlete.
Yeah, polyathlete.
I used the term first, and I was like,
okay.
It's kind of I was like, this is a douchey term. This feels weird. But Dave Tate liked it. He was like, polymath, perfect. I love it. I was like, I'm glad you like it, but I still kind of like.
I get what you're saying.
It's polyathlete,
but like it's a real thing in the sense that you've powerlifted. We talked about all these different things, all these different disciplines.
Mm-hmm.
You have some martial arts background, all this different stuff. So that brings me to the question, and you can think about
overrated.
It. No, this isn't overrated, underrated.
Okay.
No, this is overrated, underrated. So
I'm overrated.
What we want you to do is tell us the one exercise you would have someone perform if your goal was to most accurately judge how strong this person is by only watching them do this one lift? So they walk into gym home right now. You have to try and figure out how strong they are. You only get to see them do one thing. What are you going to have them do to hopefully gauge that the best, get the best picture of how strong this person is?
Oh, shit. The hard part is, like, what if they have, like, an injury or something?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
We'll
what,
just assume for this case that they're mostly
Relatively.
functioning and healthy.
Yeah.
how about a front squat?
A front squat. Yep.
How about a front squat? Because, like, that lift really asks a lot of you. You know what I mean? Like, it's hitting everything. It requires back. It requires flexibility everywhere.
Yeah.
It really does. Like, especially with this grip, but even with a cross grip. We just have them do a cross grip, okay? Just a cross grip front squat. Like, that's a pretty good overall indicator of, like, how mean you are, in my opinion.
Right.
What did Dave say?
Was Dave's something about? Was it something about a farmer's carry
That's
or
what I'm
a
wondering.
trap
If he
bar
said
deadlift?
like a trap
Did he say
farmer's
like
carry,
a high handle?
high handle farmer's carry, maybe even.
It was.
I
something
was
like
surprised actually that he chose that.
Yeah, he was the only person that's ever said the farmer's carry.
Interesting.
We've heard somebody recently just said a bent over row. You know, because he said, you know, I've never seen anyone if they have a scary bent over row, that person's strong. You know, that was just kind of their just general take on it. You know, I've never seen anyone. You know, you go up, you watch, you think they're going to deadlift it, and they do a row with it, and you're like, okay, that person can probably squat. They can probably do this, that.
I believe Dr. Mike said the continental clean and press.
Yeah, the continental clean and press was his answer.
Like they do in strongman, where they get it up on the belt and
up
then
here
go up
and
and
clean it.
Yeah.
And I think his theory there was it's just using so much of you.
Yeah.
And I think also his thing was Jujmufu is one of the strongest men of all time, and that guy could continental clean and press a ton. And so if you can also continental clean and press, you also must be one of the strongest people.
I wonder why the continental clean and press versus like a log press then. The log press still
I'm
asks
not
a
really
lot of
sure
you.
why
I
that
don't know for
distinction was
sure.
made.
Yeah.
but-
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Because what?
Yeah, I don't know if he thought it was like a grip thing in there
'cause
too. I
he
don't know
talked
if
about
that
the
was.
grip part.
Yeah,
of it
I don't think there's any. Obviously, the
There's
question.
not a right or wrong.
No,
answer.
not
there's
a right
one
or wrong
right
answer.
answer.
It's
We're
just
looking for
interesting
it.
to see.
Yeah.
I like to compare.
I'm not
how
even-
people
And
answer.
I mean, we've even gotten just straight up squat. Some people say a squat. Some people say a
deadlift.
deadlift.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've
I
heard,
thought about the squat. Deadlift is like, okay, that's a lot of leverages.
that's
That
what
can
a lot
play
of
in.
people say
That's
too
what
on that.
you can have someone that deadlifts 700 pounds because of their leverages are awesome at the deadlift. Not that that's not strong and not to take away anything from that person,
Yeah.
but they can be really proficient in that one specific lift and not have it have as much carryover to other things sometimes.
Yeah. And then a back squat it's subjected to a lot of leverages, but I don't know. I think I'm not even like a big front squatter guy. I like the lift. I have a huge respect for the lift, and it's done a lot of good for me. I'm only now like starting to like kind of incorporate it back in my training for the same reason I had you guys do handstands today. It's just like it shows you how weak you are in so many places.
Yep.
So that's why I'm like, let me just do this. Even I'm not like trying to like PR on it or impress anyone. It's like I just want to use this lift to show me how much of a bitch I am. You know what I mean? And the front squat's a great choice for that.
I was just thinking, I'm so glad he didn't say handstand push-ups.
Tanner did 0.
Yeah, so I'm still working on that first one. I did a handstand, which is a monumentous occasion. So I was like, please not handstand push-ups.
Well, the thing I like about the answers you shared with like Dr. Mike saying the continental clean and press is I have so much respect for him for saying that because he doesn't do that lift.
Right. He was just thinking about answering, like, just, it's like,
Objectively.
just like what you said, you know, it's not that you are the world's foremost front squat, or you're like, I always do the front squat, so that's why I choose that.
Yeah.
It's like, what is a
hard?
real answer to that question? You know, like what actually is a gauge of someone's strength? Not what's a gauge of my strength that I'm good at that I can say, yeah, this is how somebody's strong. They can do the thing that I'm really good at.
Right.
Yeah.
Same with Dave Tate. He picked high handle like farmer's
carry, which you like.
Dave
He's not
doesn't
doing
do that shit. No, but he thought about it. And he tried to pick the closest enough answer he could to answer your question.
He didn't
what a
say
great answer.
spider bar high box squat with bands.
Conjugate fat dad powerlifting.
Right. Yes, he didn't
It's
say
just
that.
The lovely pet lift of his.
Yeah.
You know why he does that, don't you?
Well, I guess my assumption, is just that it's something he can do, and it's like to feel the feeling of doing something hard and like the feeling under the bar and the just I don't know that feeling. Yeah,
that's basically it.
Right.
And when he had his hip replaced, I think the doctor told him he couldn't do certain things, and he's like, "Doctor didn't tell me I could do this."
Doctor doesn't even know what that is.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So he couldn't squat.
Yeah.
But this isn't a squat. This is a high box squat with a spider bar with a shit ton of chains and reverse bands out of a mono. Okay, he didn't say I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Love Dave. What a great dude.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tommy, what do you think?
I think we've covered a lot of good information tonight.
Yeah, this is so much fun. Really glad that you had us here again. We'll be talking about this one for a while. This is a bucket list experience for us. Just really cool, really awesome.
Yeah, I could check it off my list too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We work with the Massenomics guys.
This has been something we've talked about a lot over the years of like, we would love to be able to work with Juji. So thank you for letting us do this.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, we only ask that if anyone you ever talk to asks about us or it comes up, just lie. Let them know that we're not that bad. You just make stuff up. Like actually they were really cool.
Totally overrated.
So no, we really appreciate it. This was a blast. I think everyone's going to enjoy listening to this, and also check out our YouTube content. That at the time this podcast comes out, we may have some of that YouTube content coming. We did a gym tour. We did a grip training video. We did this ridiculous
handstand workout.
Handstand where we literally were standing on our heads for the video.
I gotta say, I think that might have been one of the only times someone's ever done my workout with me.
Oh,
that was
that's
actually
cool.
one of my workouts.
Like that's what you would have
been
been
my
doing.
rotation
Yeah.
for the next 3 months. Like
Yeah.
I do that every 6 workouts. So about every second week, I do that one because I got my split goes beyond a week. It's
Right.
it's,
you don't worry about 7 days in a week.
No. I go
Yeah.
based on when is the next turn for this one. So I have 6 of them, and I'll do 4 in a week, 2 the next week, and then 2 again. You see what I'm saying? So it's it rotates. You actually did one of my we didn't do all the sets of some of the stuff,
Right.
But you actually did one of my workouts, and I
Right.
don't think I've ever actually done that with any collab I've ever done.
That's a
How
cool
about that?
first.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm always the guy doing everybody else's
Right.
shit and getting
Right,
thrown in
right,
the
right.
ringer, and
Yeah.
I'm I don't know what this is, but I'll try to do it. So respect to you guys.
We figured when in Rome, when we go to Jen Thompson's place, we're gonna do their. we don't do that bench training that they
We're gonna
did.
do
We're gonna do it
slingshot
though.
3-board bench pressing.
Yeah, we're gonna do that when we come here. We're gonna stand on our head if we can. And,
I love it.
Yeah.
You guys are doing what I do. So
Yeah. Awesome.
awesome.
Well, this was awesome. I think we'll.
Yeah, where does
Yeah.
I mean, people should
know where to find you, I guess. But just for sake of it, what about online website where?
Jujimufu.com.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
don't misspell it.
Yeah.
JUJIMUFU.
Perfect.
Some dumb shit I created when I was 13.
And now look at it.
Now I'm stuck with it forever.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, man. We appreciate it. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks, Yuji.
Thanks, guys.
This episode is also brought to you by The Strength Co. The Strength Co. is something that's, if you've been following the Massenomics podcast, you've probably come to love and expect notes from The Strength Co. in here. They make the best iron plates on the market. That's definitive. I'm putting it out there. The best. They're made in America, black E-coated. They look awesome. They're smooth yet easy to grip. They got that machined edge. They wear great over time. They've become the go-to plates of Massenomics Gym. We have a variety of different plate manufacturers, different kinds of plates that we got throughout the gym. Pretty much every one, you can name it. And the best, hands down by almost every single person that comes in to lift there, they say these Strength Co plates are the best plates I've ever used. And hundreds of lifters at Massenomics Gym can't possibly be wrong. In addition to their iron plates, they've just recently come out with bumper plates. We've got some pairs of those that we're testing currently. They look awesome. They've got that black Strength Co feel and look to them. Also, their collars. They've got kind of a different kind of barbell collar that you might not be used to. You need to check them out. It's thestrength.co. Check out their plates, collars, T-shirts, everything else that they've got there. Thank you, The Strength Co. This episode is also brought to you by our fellow South Dakotans over at Build Fast Formula. Are you sick and tired of supplements that just don't work? You take them, you wait a few minutes, maybe a few hours, and absolutely nothing. Most supplements are underdosed. They contain fillers, proprietary blends, a whole bunch of crap that just confuses an inconvenient truth. They just do not work. Well, maybe it's not your fault you keep missing those PR attempts. Maybe your supplements just suck. Well, speaking of those South Dakotans at Build Fast Formula, they are making high-quality product formulas that contain clinically dosed, research-backed compounds with no unnecessary fillers, so you can build towards your goals faster and finally feel a difference in the gym. I've got their Vaso Blitz right here. This is a fan favorite of Massenomics listeners and their spouses. You can't go wrong with Vaso Blitz. Check it out on their website. That is buildfastformula.com. If you want to save money, which why wouldn't you want to save money when you're there? You can use our discount code. That's Massenomics. It'll save you 10% off on your first order. And you can actually sign up for a subscription for any of the supplements there that you want to. That'll save you an additional 10% off. So you pair it with our discount code, that's 20% off. BuildFastFormula.com. Thank you, BuildFast. This episode is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars, the best barbells in the game, undisputed champs. You've come to know and love them. Buddy Caps, who started the company, started out on his mission over 40 years ago to build the best barbell, and damn if he didn't just do a kick-ass job doing that. He paved the way back then in late 70s, early 80s, and they haven't stopped progressing and improving since then. Now, their most recent creation is the 29-millimeter power bar. We've got one at Massenomics Gym. You open that thing up, and you think, oh, my God, how could this nerdling be this aggressive? That's how aggressive their power bar is. We've got a gym full of their barbells. We've got multiple power bars, multiple deadlift bars, multiple squat bars in several different finishes. You can get it bare steel if that's what you're into. You can get it in black zinc, a personal favorite of mine. Or they've also got the Cerakote finishes if you want a little pop of color. They also still have their 28.5-millimeter barbell if you prefer that. So they've got a large variety. The best in the business, extremely affordable prices also. Make sure to check them out at TexasPowerBars.com.